about looking at the listings, which I've done for months, and actually really did like in person. There's a huge amount of cars spread out over the different areas, and there's a real mixture as well. There's a lot of no reserve cars, there's project cars, there's cheaper cars, there's even similar cars in different conditions. Later on you'll see a pair of Ferraris. There is a Ferrari 308 which has slightly faded paintwork and looks like it could use a little bit of TLC, and it is reasonably guided for a 308 as far as I can see. And then you've got a Ferrari 328, which is quite modified, including a 3.7 litre engine and a lot of other modifications. It's well worth tracking down the listing for that and having a look. It's too much for me to remember and too much to read about here as well. But it's a really interesting car, and it's got larger wheels, upgraded suspension, but it sits nicely and it looks right, which really quite nice. Also in this auction, amongst the other wacky cars, you've got John Dodd's Beast, the Rolls-Royce Meteor engined, which is a 27 litre V12, in case you don't know. It's not a Rolls-Royce, it's a bit of a bitzer, to be honest. It's a fantastic car with a fantastic story, and it's well worth looking up if you've never read it. It now is back at auction. It was at auction last year with Car and Classic, where it sold for £67,500. It's been wrapped since then back towards another colour from its history, and it's also got the Rolls-Royce grille back on, which was part of a huge legal case back in the day. And there it is in the background. The thing that really struck me about that car is just how high the bonnet sits when it's up. When you see someone standing next to it, it just looks ridiculously tall. It's a very, very, very long car, most of its engine and gearbox, and it's a wonderful thing. So the Meteor engine is the same as a Merlin engine, but without the supercharger. This was the tank engine rather than the Spitfire engine, as far as I'm aware. It's a really, really crazy thing. It's nice to see at auction. I missed it when it was at the NEC last year. I think that was just after it had all the work done. The guide on it today, or tomorrow rather, is £75,000 to £100,000. Whether it achieves that guide is another question. I'm really curious to see what it makes and what it does. And I hope it does well, and I hope the new owner actually gets some use out of it, because imagine actually seeing that on the road. What a wild, wild thing. A nice little JPS Lotus Esprit there, which always looks great. I think it's kind of the Esprit that you would want to have. There is also a GT3 later on, though, which I am a big fan of. I'd love to own a GT3, although I would also love to own this. But then I'm